Good evening, everyone. This is Dana from NexGen, and welcome to Me Inc. This evening, we're going to talk about some questions that you would ask of a homeowner. There are different ways that you can purchase your home. You can purchase it with cash. You can purchase it with a mortgage using your VA benefits if you have it. FHA, conventional. There's a multitude of ways that you can purchase a home. My experience purchasing a home, I purchased my first home in 1996, and then again, I purchased my home in 2000, another home in 2018. And when I would purchase the home in 2018, it was like I was purchasing a home for the very first time because there had been so much time in between and there are so many things that have changed. Now, since then, when I started purchasing and selling investment property, I've actually purchased the property using cash. My buyers have purchased homes using conventional means, cash, FHA, or even VA benefits. So there's a multitude of ways that you can purchase your home. And I also invite you to the new buyer seminar that the Holland's Home Team is going to be having September 17th at 10:30. So this may not answer all of your questions. I'm basically just outlining some of the questions that I received, and I'm going to be answering them based on my experiences. Again, this is not all inclusive, and I think that you would benefit from participating or providing input into the September 17th seminar. So let's go ahead and get started with some questions. Okay, the first question that I'm normally asked is, should I start house shopping before I apply for a loan? And I will tell you, at first, it seems like the most natural thing to do to start shopping for a home. But I would recommend that the first thing you do when you decide that you want to purchase a home is you want to check your credit. And the reason why you want to check your credit is you want to make sure that the information is accurate. Because if you're going to purchase a home with a mortgage, that's one of the things that they're going to do is they're going to pull your credit report. However, if you're paying cash, it doesn't make a difference. So what I would do and what I've done is checked my credit first, and I've also went to my lender to get what they call a pre-approval, or you could even get a pre-qualification. Now there is a difference, but this is just to give me an idea of the type of house that I want to buy, to include getting a budget, because as you will find out that when you buy a home, the expenses will be way different than when you were renting. So, should you look for a home first? I would recommend that you not make looking for your home the first thing you do. Check your credit, do a pre-qualification or pre-approval if you're going to get a mortgage, and I would do this before I start house shopping. Is there a right time of the year to buy? I've heard this so many times when I found out that either the summertime is the best time to buy, the winter is the best time to buy. I don't think, and I've not experienced where there was ever the best time of year to buy. It's usually when I am ready. So that is a good question. So I have not experienced a specific time of the year to buy property. Now, this is a very good question. So whether you're starting out your as a brand new newlywed or a college graduate or a high school graduate and you're going out to look for a house, and you don't have any children, so why would you care about the school system? Well, it's been my experience that usually the areas that have the best schools, they actually take better care of their properties, and the properties have a better resale value, or they hold their value longer. So even if you don't have any children, that's one of the things that you may want to look at is the school system. If you've ever looked at any of these websites where they market, I don't want to call a particular name, but where you can look to see the properties that are available, a lot of them give you the scores of the schools, and there's a reason for that. So it doesn't matter if you have any children, paying attention to the grade that people are giving the schools is something that you may want to pay attention to. Now, I was just talking about the different websites where you can find out what is listed and available for sale. So people would ask, well, if I can find out all this information on the website, do I really need a real estate agent? Well, it's been my experience that the real estate agent does a lot more than just tell me what's on the market or take me around. Sometimes they know about properties that are not on the market. The real estate agent, or a good real estate agent, is one of your best assets when you're looking for your home. And I would highly recommend that you get one that is experienced and one that you trust. And just with anything, I would recommend interviewing the real estate agent, because you don't have to pick the first one that comes along. You want to pick one that you feel comfortable with, that you know will listen to your needs. And I will add that a lot of real estate agents will ask you to sign a document that says that you're basically going to be doing business with that real estate agent. And if for some reason you decide to sever that relationship, there's a process that you have to go through. So if you sign anything like that, you want to make sure that you pick the real estate agent that you feel comfortable with. This is a very good question. They have a lot of different mortgage products out there, whether it be an adjustable rate mortgage for 5 years, and we might talk about that in another Me Inc. series, or a 15-year mortgage or a 30-year mortgage. So I think that it being the best depends on your circumstance. For me, what I did was I took a 30-year mortgage, but that did not stop me from paying it off in less time. And if you look at my other videos, I talk about paying off the 30-year mortgage in 5 years. So whether it's best pretty much depends on your circumstances. Even if I could pay it off in 15 years, the 30-year mortgage gave me the breathing room that I needed. Well, I can tell you that I've had experiences with what we call fixer-uppers. So, depending on the type of loan that you get, you may have to get the one that we call move in ready or turnkey. So, if we're dealing with a fixer upper, it may not be cheaper, because a lot of times the fixer upper is for not only things that you can see, but the things that you cannot see. So, in the long run, it may not be in your best interest or even cheaper to buy a fixer upper. Well, they do have some mortgage products where you don't have to put 20% down. Now, with cash, of course, that's not a challenge, but I believe in FHA, it's a smaller percentage. So when you're dealing with conventional and a lot of maybe some other loans, there may be a requirement to put down 20%. Now, I will tell you, and I talked about this before, that if you don't have the 20%, there may be a requirement to get what they call private mortgage insurance. And if you want my thoughts on private mortgage insurance, I'll be sure to put the link up at the top and also in the description. With a VA loan, you don't have to put down any money. However, they do charge a fee that is rolled up into the mortgage. And depending upon the appraised value of the property, you could very well be what we call in a negative situation. For example, let's say that you purchased the home for, let's say, $390,000, and it's appraised at $390,000. So when all of the costs are added up to include the VA fee, the new mortgage could be over $400,000. So if the appraised value is $390,000 and your mortgage is over $400,000, you're pretty much in a negative situation. So pay attention to that. Well, you don't need good credit to buy a home if you're paying cash. Usually, the requirement for a specific type of credit is dependent upon the requirements of the lender. So that's why I made the recommendation earlier that you check your credit before a lender does to make sure that the information on your credit is accurate. Now, if your credit is a little challenged, you may have to pay more in interest. However, it depends on the type of loan program that you're a part of. I would recommend that when you're purchasing a house, it's best to be a good steward of your money before you purchase the house. So the answer is you don't have to have good credit. However, to get the best possible rate, or what we call the best bang for your buck, it's best to have the best credit that you can have. And also, there are some programs that if you take classes on how to improve your credit, they also take that into consideration when providing you a loan product. So that's something to keep in the back of your mind. Oh, I wish, but the down payment is not the only cost that you may be required to pay. They have what they called earnest money deposit. Now, even though that's part of the loan, if you do take a loan or part of the purchase price, an earnest money deposit is usually given before you actually purchase the home, and it's to let the seller know that you're serious. So there are other costs that would be associated with purchasing the home in addition to the down payment. And of course, this all depends on the conversation that you would be having with your lender. Oh, another good question. And the answer is no, it's not. The asking price is not set in stone. That's what they're asking for. So let's say that you see a house that you're qualified for. Let's say you're qualified for $400,000 and you're purchasing the home with a loan. If the house does not appraise for whatever they're asking for, then the loan would not be able to be processed. So sometimes the sellers would make an adjustment if they're accepting the offer of what we call an appraisal contingency. Also, if there's some other things, for example, let's say that there's some repairs that need to be made to that the seller may not have been aware of, that's also a negotiable item. Also, if you're paying cash, that's a negotiable item so that you can negotiate paying lower than what they're asking for. So The answer is no, that price is not set in stone. Unfortunately, there are sellers that would prefer that you not get a home inspection. Now, for some places where you plan to live, or if you plan to turn around and sell it, it is in your best interest to get a home inspection. And also, there are some lenders, most lenders do require a home inspection because they are going to more than likely be the lien on the property until you pay the mortgage off. So you may not need it, especially if you're paying cash, but I highly recommend it. Okay, let's say that you found the home of your dreams, you've made an offer, the offer was accepted, all the contingencies, if there are any contingencies, have been met, and you're at the closing table. Can something still go wrong? The answer is yes. And even sometimes before you go to the closing table, there's something that could go wrong. For example, and this may be something that's out of your control, there may be a problem with the title. Now, the lenders may require this, and if you're paying cash, I always recommend getting title insurance because you never know what's going to happen, especially if you're going to turn around and sell the property. So, even at the closing table, or even right before you get to the closing table, there still can be issues. So just know that these things can happen. Unfortunately, they're not as rare as I'd like them to be, but just know that having a good real estate agent is one of the reasons why this is so important. They can prepare you for these types of situations. So the answer is no, unfortunately, there still may be an issue. Again, I hope this information was beneficial to you. Now, there may be some other questions that you may have, which is good. And there may be situations that you may run into that I didn't run into. So that's why it's so beneficial to look at our previous videos, and also make sure that if you can attend in person, that you are a part of our first home buyer seminars on the 17th of September. So again, I will see you at the seminar, and have a great weekend.